Viewers meet keg, keg meet viewers. Today I'm going to show you how to make carbonated water in a keg at a fraction of the price you could buy commercially. If you're not willing to commit to a keg, I have an intermediate step so that you can also make carbonated water cheaply. So, without further ado, let's get at it. So why would you want to make carbonated water in the first place? Well, the first thing I can think of is economics. If you take, say, a LaCroix, which is a popular brand in North America, and say it's on average 50 cents a can. So 2 cases, 48 cans gets you about $24 worth. Well, this is $24. It's Loran. It's an extract. And by calculation, I need 1 milliliter to make a full keg of carbonated water. So if a keg is 5 gallons, and this is 120 milliliters, that's 120 times 5. That's 600 gallons of carbonated water for about $24. It's like a small swimming pool. Your other expense obviously will be CO2, but we'll get to that more later. Another reason why I enjoy carbonated water is it's kind of a good diet hack. It kind of keeps you feel full, as well as it keeps me off the beers. And lastly, it's just plain delicious. Since you're making carbonated water, of course, you'll need a carbonation source. This can be a paintball tank, as small as a paintball tank, or the 20-pounder you get from the bar or homebrew shop. This is a great way to save money. Whereas the SodaStream, a cartridge on Amazon costs $30, and that only gets you about 60 liters or 15 gallons of carbonated water. So this is a great way to save money initially. After you secure your CO2 source and your regulator, you're going to move over to where are you going to store it. Is it going to be a Cornelius keg like you saw before? Or if you kind of want to get your feet wet and try this out before you fully commit, I recommend going with the PET bottle. You'll commonly know these as 2-liter bottle in North America. Here's a 1.6, and sometimes in the American South they actually have 3-liter bottles, so you might try that. It's very simple. Moving on, you'll need a flavor extract. That's also non-negotiable. I mentioned before Key Lime by Loran, which I really like. It's super concentrated. Or you can get Better Stevia. It's a liquid one that I like as well. So there's tons of flavors out there. Definitely mess around and see which one you like the best. So this is mandatory. You need a flavor extract. Then you need citric acid. Citric acid I like to use. It's super cheap. And then over here, not pictured, are some different things like gypsum for flavor or dryness, and table salt if you want to kind of manipulate the water qualities and kind of develop your own taste from there. Okay, but now we need to replenish the copper, so we're going to go ahead and make 5 gallons, which is 19 liters. This is a recipe I've been honing for the last year. I really like it. So some riffs I do in this one is I add about 2 grams of pink Himalayan sea salt. I guess you could add regular sea salt or regular salt, it probably doesn't matter. And of course, this is 2.5 milliliters, so it's about the 2-gram territory. We're not really too picky about these things around here. So 2 grams of salt, and then 2 grams of gypsum, which I do have for the home brewing, and you probably do as well. Okay, 2 and 2, and we'll go ahead and put the recipe on the screen there so you can double check. For citric acid, I like to go with 2 teaspoons of 100% citric acid. You can use phosphoric acid or malic acid, as I'm told as well. I like this as opposed to 3. 3 was just 1 toke over the line for me, but feel free to kind of experiment around. Running this through a water calculator got me 2.9 pH, which is right in line with Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is cited as between 2.5 and 3. And then on to the star of the show, which would be your flavor extract. Before I mentioned the Loran, I really like the Key Lime, and a little goes a long way. Seriously, 1 milliliter, which is why you'll need the syringe here. Or if you were to go with Better Stevia, times that by 5. So you'd want to go 5 milliliters instead. Okay, you got your 1 milliliter here. Into the keg we go. And then, of course, a clean water source on top, whether that's RO, or if you have tasty well water, or like the water from the grocery store too. So once you fill that up, put your lid on top, and then hit it with CO2. 30 psi. And if your keg is cold and the water is cold and you want to get into carbonated water faster, put it on its side, roll it for 5 or 10 minutes. Otherwise, if you put it in the fridge at 30 psi, 4 degrees Celsius, which is 39 F, it'll come to carbonation in about 3 or 4 days. As mentioned before, you don't necessarily need a keg to make forced water. So here's the way I'll show you how to make it very cheaply. As long as you have that CO2 source and that regulator, you'll need a carbonation cap, and I do recommend getting the stainless steel ones. They're about $9 or $10, they're a few dollars more than the plastic one, and you'll be glad you did. These are built really robustly. So you need that carbonator cap, PET bottle, the same citric acid, and I do recommend going with the better stevia this time, as it's less potent than the Loran. The Loran would be really difficult to measure and put in here because so little of it is needed. Instead, if you're doing a 2-liter water bottle worth of carbonated water, I recommend about 12 to 15 drops of better stevia. So let's go ahead and do that now. We have a good source of water in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we got those drops of the carbonated water in there. And then we need probably about 1 gram or 1 ml as far as volume goes of the citric acid. Again, do this to your taste. It's not an exact thing. You want that regulator turned up to about 30 psi, and you want cold water. Put your cap on here, like so. Hook your CO2 source up, and shake. Also, turn your CO2 source on, and shake. Literally anything you can fit into the bottle that's liquid, you can carbonate. You can carbonate coffee if you want to. My wife carbonates kombucha from time to time. Hell, you could even do milk if you were so inclined. So you do that for about 5 minutes, and you're ready to drink it. Oh, hey there. Okay, yeah, carbonated water. So you need 3 things. You need the CO2 source, you need a container, whether that's a PET bottle or a keg, and you need some flavoring. So if you're looking for a CO2 source, I recommend checking my other video out about pin valve regulator. It's the cheapest barrier of entry, much more cost efficient than a soda stream, and it'll last forever. Okay, good luck on your adventures. Let me know how it goes in the comments below.